to take this opportunity to just come live, and things yesterday that I'm aware of as I place a new rock. And I'm going to put pictures up of this for people. Well, it might be easy to see. You see the heart in the center of that. This is actually a lemon calcite, and calcite has doubling power. Both sides, you can see a heart in the center. And this was sitting in the basket that I had out for sale yesterday. And the case with all crystal shops, even my own, is that every single piece has an individual personality, and we can't keep them all, right? So some of them are put in baskets for sale and go to other people, and that's the wish here right now, is that more of those babies can find their homes. I'm going to try to sit on the moon here for a minute. I actually have lemon calcite moons in the center here. Oh, that's funny. I had forgotten that lemon calcite breaks real easily. And so my things that break still have work to do when they find their ways to other things. Often given back to the earth. Oh my God, Mary. Mary broke. I had a premonition about this. I knew she was going to break, and this is where she broke in that wind. Mary was decapitated in that wind. That's interesting to me. All right, she's gonna say here, I mean, I feel like Mary's probably been decapitated in our traditions for a long time, so that doesn't actually surprise me at all. Um, so the energies yesterday were really beautiful out here and really interesting to me. A lot of masculine energy called for healing yesterday. And in every single case, we also have a spider web that has been woven throughout this, which I love that element for this grid. We'll see what continues to happen here. We had intense storms here yesterday, and there was intense weather across the country. So I would say to you, I said, we're going to be looking to the earth to do things, and the earth absolutely did things to disrupt yesterday, over and above what any humans were trying to do, and made it very difficult for certain things to happen, including in many cases, celebrations to go on. Our fireworks in this area had to be postponed. St. Cloud, I'm writing a piece on that right now to go in the very beginning of the No Kings book is going to be a mini booklet about the 250th anniversary and the events and astrology leading up to that to open up the No Kings book. So none of my books are devoid of spirituality. Of course, it's in there. Again, these are lower three chakra books, really, at the end of the day. How do we have these conversations about changing the way that humanity shows up for one another? And this is what this grid is about. So, yeah, these conversations yesterday with these really wonderful men, one who came from the island of Puerto Rico, which I have a direct connection to. My daughter's husband, Josh, is a quarter, no, my grandchildren are a quarter Puerto Rican. He is half and then half Mexican. And so we have the reason why I wrote the second book that went up yesterday had all to do with this. And that conversation was so deep in a way that, like, he literally looked at me. He's a 38-year-old, okay? And he looked at me and he's like, you meet people and you don't know why. And and then you have these profound conversations. And he bought a blue lace agate bracelet, which is a connection to the angels. And he opened up to me about his great grandma. I mean, it was just beautiful. And the conversation before that, another gentleman who unfortunately had lost his son to PTSD and suicide. And that same thing, like he said to me, you just know when conversations open up and you're just meant to meet people. those conversations are always the reasons why I do what I do and why I make decisions to do crazy things like put tables at the end of my driveway on the 4th of July when I haven't even really advertised that I'm doing it. Um, because who is meant to be is always meant to be there. And my human sometimes has a hard time with that. But I'm learning more and more every day that abundance is my birthright as well, and abundance is so many different things. When you look around this land and you look around the experience of my life and you look around the gifts and the beauty and the thriving children, and, like I say, they're thriving, they might not agree with me, but from a mother's perspective, my children are thriving in their lives because they're living their lives and they're doing it on their own terms, and they're making the life that they want to live possible for them to be able to have. And I think we did that as well, and I think that was that, when people do that, abundance becomes your birthright. And I think my children appreciate that abundance is their birthright and that they have beauty in their lives. And the beauty in their lives, they wouldn't want that beauty to be anything different. And so a lot of this work is that realization coming online for humanity that abundance is your birthright, but you can't look to somebody else's form of abundance to find your abundance. Your abundance is going to be separating more and more from a monetary um, number. And opportunities will open up to you more and more as you start to move into that. I think part of it is learning how to live differently. And there are many people in this particular walk right now who I just say are the bridge. I call us the Mississippi bridge nodes here. The people that I know, myself and many others, who are doing this kind of consciousness work are experiencing those changes and they're uncomfortable, but we're doing it. And we're also seeing where we need to filter those kinds of things into our communities and offer them up as they will become more necessary in the future. Not in a scary sort of way, but because humans are going to start to wake up and want to find. We did a book called, and we didn't finish it, but anybody can go and finish it, called Night. By Clarissa Pincola Estes. I think I've already quoted it in some of the writing here. Um, I highly recommend that because in that she talks about refugees even and what it's going to feel like for these people coming out of these basic concentration camps that we have going on, and what it was like for anybody that she studied who had been a refugee. Like, they never feel safe. And so, they're the easiest to prey on in a situation like we have today because they already are unsafe from coming out of country situations that they weren't safe in. And so they literally have a really hard time with root chakra energy, with safety and security, right? And your soul tribe that you're born into is not necessarily the soul tribe that you feel connected to. So there's also some discussion about that. And she gets to the conclusion that she believes that she and the people that she's connected to are part of the Scar tribe. And I believe that the people that I think that makes a lot of sense, that we're part of the Scar tribe, that we understand our scars and our battle wounds are part of the process here. And another thing that she brings to light in that is the fact that every single human seems to have the exact same sort of rite of passage, and that is to get over this worthiness. Am I worthy? and nothing says, are you worthy to a human more than whether or not people show up for what you're doing. And that's what I'm in right now, is a time in my blueprint where it's unusual for me to not have people show up for what I'm doing. And yet I feel like people are not showing up for what I'm doing compared to what I was doing before. I feel like the work is right where it's supposed to be. And I think we keep waiting for more people to walk across these bridges and, be willing to make the next stand that creates the quantum world leap that, and it's all interconnected, right? So it's not devoid of any of the higher spirituality things. And I work in both realms, but if I can't get people to be taking care of their own like root at the root and understanding their interconnectedness or right relations with all of the things, then we're not going to be able to go as far as I believe we can go if we hit that trajectory. It's why bringing people through that lower chakra stuff is just your humanity. It's finding your humanity. And can you find your humanity by finding your humanity for yourself and by understanding in the scarcity loop that scarcity is not, you know and that if we're creating worlds where scarcity is allowed, then we're removing that narrative from our timeline. Not to have any less than we do today. This is a very important distinction. It's that people have so much in some cases right now, and I'm talking about the billionaire classes here. There are people who have more than they could ever conceivably do anything with, and they're not doing anything good with that money. And that is where, like, we've created this whole world around this scarcity, and scarcity is not about that. Scarcity is about whether you feel safe and secure in your life, whether you're having a good time living your life. Tons of those tech bros are not having a good time living their life. They are not in a balanced energy um, when it comes to real abundance. And so abundance and equality for all, calling that in, is about helping them to be able to actually get to the point where they understand, like, holding all that is not making it better for them, it's making it more difficult, you know um because it's an imbalanced situation, and they cause so much negative energy streaming to them from so many different people. And that's real. Energy actually does affect you, what you're connected to, where you live, how you live your life, how you show up, how you project yourself out. It matters. It matters, and it affects the whole. And so the work with this grid is planetary, and it is, remember, it's for all humans. And what we're trying to mirror is getting to that point inside of us where scarcity is no longer an issue, where nothing is stopping the flow of exactly what you need in this moment from coming to you. And I do believe that I am there, even though from a monetary standpoint, I am in the scarcest period of my life. I don't think that that remains that way. And I believe it's going to be done without needing the dogma or doctrine of something outside of my understanding to create it, so it won't be out of alignment with my soul, with my higher self. And I don't believe that I have necessarily been able to. We were not in this. This is a new epoch for humanity. This is a quantum leap for humanity that we're helping to make through just this simple doing the work with the waters and with however you're doing it. You don't even need a crystal. You can just use your voice, raising our voice to say, we want to create a world around us that has the reality that we see everywhere else living except for humanity, the only apex predator that's killing itself. So the thing that I'm writing today is probably going to end on, we need to stop killing humans. We are exactly the same. And one of the things that was happening yesterday on Washington was this: there were 400 white men who marched, who were open Nazi. They were flying the Mussolini flag. They were openly authoritarian people who were marching hate into the Capitol grounds on the 250th anniversary of the free country that's never been free. And that, literally, I wrote, these are just babies. These are men. These are not, these are men who have not been conditioned to have any sort of understanding of what we actually are, and are so wounded that they believe that they need to have a stronghold over someone else in order to feel powerful. And they looked ridiculous. They're masked. Does everybody understand what a mask means at this point? So ICE being masked and them being masked means you're not really willing to embody your idealism because you know your idealism is wrong. So you won't even show your face so that people know who to stay away from. And there was 400 of them in a nation of 500 million some odd people at this point. That is an insignificant number, but what was being shown over and over again on the TV was this group, and they have no power over anyone, zero power over anyone. And that is part of the timeline that we're going to see and say, not on our watch. There is not anyone that I know personally that would invite in or go march alongside of those people. The pigment on the outside of our skin coloring versus what is on the inside of us that is exactly the same is inconsequential. It has to do with the sun and where our relatives were born. And the darker your skin is, the older you are. The darker your skin is, the more time you've been on this earth from a lineage standpoint. And that's just the truth. You can go to any natural history museum and see they're trying to take those out of, they're trying to take that out of places right now. We're not going to allow that. Oh man, we are working on so much death and decay. Like I can just smell it everywhere. That is what we are working on. We are working on the death and decay that needs to be removed. So we're going to let this light, this beautiful light, it's the masculine energy, it's sun energy, it's the energy of Jupiter and Leo with the heart right in the center. It's another part I'll be talking about today. Jupiter and Leo expands the most beautiful, loving energy, but it also expands the most hateful, patriarchal, sort of narcissistic energy. Not to say that there's narcissism that lives in everyone, but narcissism is a spectrum. So, people who have extreme narcissism never take any personal accountability. Donald Trump is an extreme narcissist. All the attention needs to be on me. Nobody else matters. So, and that is a strong man mentality that we've gotten used to in our society. in our leadership, and it is toxic as anything could possibly be. And it mirrors back into so many of our living rooms, including into my own. And it's an open conversation here. The narcissism is talked about in my household because we don't hide the truth of what's happening in our households. We have conversation and communication about it. Otherwise, we're never going to be able to tolerate being safe in a room with a type of behavior that is rampant in our own society. And how we move away from it is to have discussion about what it is and then work with people who have extreme narcissism to start learning how to love themselves and have enough love in themselves that they're not always seeking the attention from outside. Most of those people have no love in their heart. And this Leo and Jupiter energy, that's the opposite side, the shadow side of this energy that we may see expanded. So today, abundance is our birthright. Well, it's not going to go there. It told me it can't go there. It's sliding. I'm going to put it way up here. No, I don't like that either. You know what? I'm going to have it. I have the Turtle Island over on that side. We're going to put that over on that side to balance out that Turtle Island energy. Um, Today, I'm also going to move these chumpy stones, I think. And yeah, day 2. We have 17 days left now. And I hope that you also start to feel and see some things happening in your own bodies as we move through this. All of these things are um, they're somatic. I'm going to tell you, yesterday, my headache was intense with all of the different things. So if you're having any, I'm having extra tinnitus and all kinds of, I always have it, but it changes sometimes and it's very intense right now. There's a lot of things going on from the sun as well. It's not just the stars right now. The sun has been, that's why we had the northern lights so far south. And it was a pretty strong geomagnetic storm that was happening while all of this astrology is happening. And so please remember to take care of yourself, hydrate, allow yourself to move, allow yourself some time. Part of my piece today is like, I was exhausted. I went to bed at 7 something. I was 8. Well, no, it was 9. It was 9 because I got the book uploaded at 8:40 something. So book 2 is all uploaded. It took all day to get that cover done to my liking. But it's done, it's uploaded, and yeah, my deadline on book 3 is 7/22. So in the next 17 days, as we go through this, I will also be finishing another manuscript, and there's more to do on that one. So, yeah, so lots of things going on. Uh, Reach out if I can do anything for you. I'd love to have some people book. I have hours for the shop posted, and you can find those through the Acuity or through the .com. Come shop, come for a healing. Um, Come to Healer Circle on Tuesday night from 6:30 to 8:30. Come to Shakti on Thursday, I think the 16th, also from 6:30 to 8:30. That class is $25. The Healer Circle is donation based. So that's what we have going on in July. I will be gone the entire last week. And I am going to try to do these on whatever day the spirit moves me to do them. I was going to do one yesterday and then we had an epic storm. So I didn't get that done. And I also had more people come. So I thank you. We actually ended up doing healings well into the 7, around 7. So anyway, bye. Clap, clap, clap. See you soon.